It was almost midnight. The rain beat a lonely rhythm on the roof of the Suds and Spin laundromat. Inside, under the hum of fluorescent lights, 29-year-old Maria sat huddled on a plastic chair. She'd just pulled a double shift at the nursing home. Her 4-year-old daughter, Lily, was asleep on her shoulder, a tiny thumb tucked in her mouth. In Maria's purse, there was just $3.27. Rent was due. Her car had been taken that morning, and her only set of work scrubs were still tumbling in the dryer. She had to be back at work by 6 a.m. in those clean scrubs, or she'd lose her job. She closed her eyes, just for a moment, wishing the world would stop spinning. Then, a voice broke through the quiet. "You look like you could use a coffee." Maria opened her eyes. An older man, maybe in his late 60s, stood there holding 2 steaming paper cups. He wore a worn flannel shirt and a kind expression. Maria just shook her head. "I'm okay, thanks." But he didn't leave. He sat down on the chair across from her. "Long night?" he asked. She wanted to say no, to pretend everything was fine, but the exhaustion, the fear, it all just spilled out. "My daughter's sick," she confessed, her voice cracking. "I can't afford her medicine, and if these scrubs don't dry in time, I'll lose my job." The man, Walter, didn't offer empty platitudes. He simply reached into his pocket and pulled out a crisp $20 bill. "Get the medicine," he said softly, "and keep your job." Maria stared at the money, tears welling up. "I can't take that." "You can," he insisted gently. "My wife would have wanted you to." He told her about his wife, Eleanor. She had been a nurse, just like Maria. She worked nights, came home exhausted, but she never, ever missed a shift. "She passed away last year," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Cancer? I still come here sometimes. It's where I used to pick her up after her shifts. She always had a story about someone she'd helped." He looked over at little Lily, sleeping so peacefully. "You're her now," he whispered. Maria finally let the tears fall. It wasn't just relief, it was the feeling of being seen, of not being invisible in her struggle. The next week, Walter was back at the laundromat, but this time, he didn't have money. He had a used washing machine he'd fixed up himself. "I've got an extra," he said with a little smile, a lie she knew was for her pride. "It needs a good home." She let him install it in her tiny apartment. Weeks turned into months. Walter became Mr. Wally to Lily. He'd read her bedtime stories, fix the leaky faucet, and sit with them on Sundays, drinking tea and watching cartoons. One evening, Maria found him sitting quietly on her couch, tears rolling down his cheeks. He handed her an old photograph of him and Eleanor, young and laughing on a beach. "I miss her so much," he whispered. "Sometimes I forget how to be happy." Maria took his hand, her own heart aching for him. "Then let us remind you," she said. "Now every Sunday is laundry day, but not at the laundromat. It's in Maria's kitchen, with the old machine humming a steady tune. Lily dances around in her socks, while Mr. Wally flips pancakes. On the wall, there's a framed note in a child's crayon scrawl. Mr. Wally equals best grandpa, even though he's not really. Because sometimes, family isn't about the blood you share. It's about the person who finds you shivering and alone in a laundromat and chooses to stay. In a world that can feel cold and lonely, maybe the greatest act of love is to simply look at someone and say, 'You're not alone tonight. Thanks for watching.'" If this story touched your heart, please like and subscribe for more.